Happy Children's Day. Let's make it super special for them with this cookies recipe, and you need just a few ingredients to wow them before they get back from school.
Foodies inside.
So I'll add about 3 cups of this Checkers chocolate custard. It's 4-in-1. I'll add 250 grams of butter or margarine. In this case, I'm using margarine. And I'll just cut them into cubes like this. And the next thing I want to do is use my hands to rub them into the custard just like so. Now, if you have a stand mixer, like I do have here, you can use your mixer to rub it in. Now, I told you this is a 4-in-1 custard. That means it's got milk in it, it's got sugar, it's got the custard and chocolate. So because I've added some butter, I will add about 3 tablespoons of this icing sugar to it. Now, the reason why I'm using icing sugar and not not the granulated sugar is because I'm not adding any liquid to this at all. So it will not melt if I use granulated sugar. So by using icing sugar, it's just like powder, so they all just you know, bond together, incorporate together. So I said 3 tablespoons, right? So here goes my 3 tablespoons. But if you don't want to do so much sugar, you can just let it be. Add a pinch of salt. If you have a standing mixer, I don't know if I've said it before, you can transfer to your standing mixer. If not, you use your hands to rub the butter in for about 10 to 20 minutes until, you know, when you put it together, it can like stick on its own, something like this, okay? So, but I'll send this to my stand mixer now. Okay, so this is fine with the hand mixer, but if you are using your hand, please just keep kneading or mixing together until you have something that is this pliable. Like when you put it together, it can mold. Remember, there is no wet ingredient here. You just have your butter and your custard, no wet ingredient. So you need to keep beating until it is moldable like this. So this is fine. I'll line the oven pan with parchment paper. And I just press it like so. You can just take something to flatten it, just like so. I'm using a spoon, anything at all you have that is clean. As soon as you flatten it, you then begin to create a line to divide it, just like so. So I'm measuring with my thumb. I cannot find a ruler in my kitchen today. I'm going to divide this into 2. And the next thing I want to do is just to poke some holes to give it like shortbread design. I'll be using a fork to do that. Okay, so here is our dough. Custard and butter or margarine. All right, so I'm going to pop this into the oven right now to cook for about 35 to 40 minutes. And once it's ready, I'll allow it, let's say 40 minutes. Once it's ready, I'll allow it to cool down before we eat it. Our cookie is ready. So I'm going to allow it to cool down for about 10 minutes before we separate it. But this looks good, and I used the Checkers 4-in-1 custard. It's got custard, milk, sugar, and chocolate. So that's why it's brown like this, because of the chocolate. So we allow it to cool down before we separate it. I've just lifted this off the pan. That was off camera. You just take your cooking paper or kitchen parchment paper, lift it off the pan, place it somewhere after it has cooled down for about 10 minutes. Then, of course, give it some clear edges. Now, remember, this is experiment, and I use custard for this instead of the usual all-purpose flour. I need to cut this as well. But unfortunately, that one, I think I pressed it when I was bringing it out. So I'm going to pick it out gently and hoping that it stays together. So here is it, our custard cookies. The more it cools, the more it stays together. So, like I said, as it cools, it continues to firm up. Well, this is just how to make a beautiful checkers custard cookies. Very easy. Shortbread cookies, if you may say. So this is fine, we'll take pictures now.
Crunchy. And it's just right.
This actually works.
Crunchy.
So, I told you this is an experimental cooking. Number one thing is you must make sure that it cools down completely, pata before you divide it, before you share it. Okay? This is actually
Very
good.
nice.
Number two, if you are using Checkers custard 4-in-1, don't bother to put any more sugar.
No.
It's very sweet. Sweet. It's very, very sweet. So once you're using the 4-in-1, don't add any more sugar because it's the sugar in 4-in-1 is just enough.
Sugar in.
Yeah. So I added like 3 more spoons of icing sugar, so I shouldn't have done that. Maybe 1 spoon would have been okay.
Perfect.
Or just leave it because I'm not really.
Sufficed.
Yeah, I'm not really a sugar
Me too.
person, but man, this works.
But this is
cookie
sweet.
works,
This is
and
nice.
it's easy. All you need is butter and Checkers custard.
That's all. Very.
And if you want sugar, fine. If you don't want, if you're not a sugar person, you just press it in together.
Nice.
Rub it, press it down your oven pan, and you're good to go. You might not even need to cut it like this if you don't want. If you have other cookie cutters,
Yeah.
you can use them. Man,
It's perfect.
ladies,
Nice.
thank you for coming to see us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And thank you, Checkers.
This is from Checkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you all so much, and of course, recreate the recipes and let me know. Bye.
Bye.
If you like this video, please give me a thumb up, share and comment. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do click on the subscribe button and notification bell to enjoy more of my recipes.